Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome to my channel. This is the place to be if you want to make the most from your money, whether that's saving money, making money, or better managing your money. And today's video is about the last two. It's going to help you make a little bit of money, but also help you better manage your money. And it's about a new savings account that's going to pay you what it claims are market leading rates. Now it's called Chip Plus One. You might already know about Chip. It's something I've spoken about before. Essentially, this is an app you download to your phone and connect it to your bank account via open banking. If you do that, it has a smart little algorithm which analyzes your spending, your income, and it works out how much can you afford to save. And then it gets that amount and it transfers it from your current account to your Chip account. And it's a lovely little feature which essentially auto saves for you. And if you're not very good at saving, it's a great way of, without even thinking about it, boosting your money that you've got in savings, that little emergency pot. Now, I'm not talking about that chip today. It's probably another video for another time. I'm talking about this new account called Chip Plus One. Now, to get Chip Plus One, you have to have Chip. Okay, so you already have to have Chip. So there will be a little bit of crossover among how that works and how this new one works. But it is essentially its own thing. It operates on its own without all the other features that you've got going on with Chip. So it is a separate thing, which is why I'm treating you to this separate video on its launch, because it's just out. Now, the rate it's offering is 1.25%. You only get that 1.25% on the first £5,000 that you have in that account. So it's a bit limited. It's not going to be, if you've got money, like lots of cash, more than 5 grand. Not many people do, but you might have. You're not going to be able to move all of that money in there and earn interest on it. It is capped at that £5,000. You can obviously have less in there if that's what you've got and still get that 1.25%. I will talk a little bit later on about other options though if you have got less money, which might have a higher priority. But that's essentially what it is. So time of recording this right now, that actually 1.25% isn't a bad rate at all. It is one of the best ones out there. To say it's market leading is probably fair for savings accounts, because the other ones I mentioned, they're kind of either in regular savers or in current accounts. It's slightly different. But 1.25% is very good right now. I'll give you a kind of indication that at the time of recording this, the best you can get is 0.6% elsewhere in an easy access savings account. So, I mean, that's double the amount. So in that case, fantastic. But I want to take you through exactly how it works and a few other things you might need to be aware of before you start going into it, because it is not quite as simple as it sounds. First of all, it's actually getting your hands on Chip Plus One and that 1.25%. Now, if you're an existing customer, you can't just go into it and activate it and there it is. You have to refer someone, hence the Plus One name of the account. But you go into your account and you'll very easily see a little button that says, join Plus One, and you'll get a code. If you give that code to a new Chip customer, they will get 1.25% and access to Chip Plus when they sign up to Chip for the first time, and you'll get the Chip Plus added to your account. Now, you can only share this code with one other person. Well, yeah, you can share it with hundreds of people if you wanted, but it can only be used once. So once one person has signed up, no one else can use that code, but you will also get your access to that account, and it can't be stacked. So as I said, since only one person can use it, it's not like previous promo codes with Chip where they've let you accumulate 1% every time you refer someone. So no, it's stuck at that 1.25%. So if you're an existing customer, that is the only way to do it. You have to find someone to refer. You can't take advantage of any other offers. Now, if you're new to Chip, you don't need to worry about that so much, because there are a number of codes out there which will give you access. So if you don't have a mate who has Chip, you can help each other out, don't worry. The one that I've got that I can share with you is BClever21. That's just the letter B, then Clever21. So when you sign up, you will enter that code and you'll get access. Now, obviously, you also need to have the Chip app. So if you're not comfortable with using smartphones for your banking, you're not really clear about whether you really want to do this or not, then unfortunately you won't be able to get this. But if you are happy with that, iOS, Android, download the Chip app, enter that code, whether it's my ref code or your friend's referral code when you're signing up, and then you'll get access to Chip and Chip Plus One. You'll also need to connect your Chip account to your current account using open banking. So again, not everyone's comfortable using this, but this is the way that lots and lots of sort of these fintech apps work. Connect it to most high street banks, including Monzo and Starling. The only major exception I noticed there was a co-op bank, but there is a list which I've linked to in the article. I've got a whole written review of this Chip One as well, Chip Plus One. I'll link to that below so you can click through and check all the details there. But most of your banks you can connect, and that is the only bank that you're going to be using with Chip and Chip Plus One. So when you pay money into Chip Plus One, and when you withdraw money out, it goes to that account, okay? But if you've got multiple accounts, you can choose whichever one you want. Now, one vital thing I want to make clear right now is that although Chip Plus One is free, there is a chance you could get charged for using Chip. Okay, remember, these are, although they're all within the Chip app, they are essentially sort of separate savings products. So you can put your money in Chip Plus One and there's no charge for putting it in, taking it out. However, within Chip, the main feature of it, as I mentioned before, is that auto-saving algorithm, that artificial intelligence which works out how much you can save. That used to be free, but in the middle of 2020, Chip introduced a monthly fee if you use the AI. If you don't use the AI, there is no charge. So if you only want to make sure you're using the Chip Plus One and you only want to get the interest on that savings in there, then you need to make sure you turn off the AI or don't use it. There are a few different ways of doing it. First of all, you want to make sure that the sort of payday put away, as they call it, which when you get paid automatically puts money to savings, that is turned off if you've activated it. If you've not activated it, just leave it off. Don't use that. Okay, so that uses the algorithm. If that isn't ever used, then that can't go towards your charges. Then the other thing is to make sure that auto saves don't happen. Now, there are two ways of doing this. You can do either of them, but I think it probably makes sense to do both if you can. One of them is just to stop the auto saves. You can pause it rather than stop it completely, which is a bit annoying, and you can only do that in 3-month stints. So at the start of the month, you can go in and it will go for the whole 3 months. You have to keep doing this, as I say. So when that 3 months before it ends, you want to pause it again and add it again and keep doing that. So you have to do that to 100% make sure that no auto saves come out. But there's another fail-safe, which I think probably means you don't need to do that pausing, but just to be safe, you do both. There is a minimum balance on your savings account, your connected current account, I should say, where if it goes, the balance goes below that limit, then auto saves won't happen. So I've just set mine at 20k. I'm not going to have 20k in my linked current account, so therefore there should never be an auto saving come through. But make sure you do that, because I don't think this account is worth it if you are going to be paying that £1.50 a month to use that connected AI algorithm. That is a separate thing. Again, I'll talk about that in a separate video another time. We're just focusing on Chip Plus One here. And if you're paying £1.50 a month, it's going to wipe out a lot of your return. So what else to tell you about? Let's talk about that interest rate, that 1.25%. It is variable, so it could change at any time. It could disappear as well. It's not, they could say, look, we're not going to offer this anymore. Okay, so just bear that in mind. It's not fixed, it could change. But right now, it's 1.25%, which right now is pretty good. It's also technically not interest, because this is paid out of Chip's marketing budget. So they're calling it a bonus. So I'm going to try and be very careful in my language here and not use the word interest, but use the word bonus as we talk through this. But essentially, you've got some savings in your account and they are going to give you some money in return for it on a 1.25% rate. So essentially, yeah, it is interest, but they're calling it a bonus, and technically it is a bonus rather than interest. Now, the most you can earn this bonus on is 5k. If you have £5,001 in that account, it will not earn interest. And although you can save up to 85k in there and have it protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, there's not really much point in having any more than just that, a maximum of 5k if you've got it. Obviously, you can have less. Now, that bonus, not interest, it is calculated on a weekly basis, but only paid every 12 weeks. So you won't get that money straight away. It will say every quarter, you'll get a payment, a chunk payment for the bonus that you've earned in that period. Now, that's fine. That's not going to be any problem unless you close the account completely. Then you forfeit any bonuses that haven't been paid. So if you are going to completely close the account, you obviously ideally want to wait until one of those bonus periods, those 12-week periods, is up before you do that. Also, this bonus doesn't compound. So let's say you've got the full £5,000 saved in there. After 12 weeks, you get a payment of around 15 quid to represent that bonus that you've earned. Well, it's over 5k, so obviously you're not going to earn any money on that extra 15 quid. However, if you were below that, let's say you had £4,000, that bonus still wouldn't earn any bonus at all. It doesn't compound in any way, which you normally get in other accounts that the interest earns interest. So that's worth bearing in mind. It's not going to be a huge amount at these rates, but it is an important thing to know about. In theory, you could take out the full £5,015, withdraw it all, and then you've got that 15 quid where you go and put that into another account, and then you pay that 5 grand back into your Chip Plus One, and then you start earning your bonus again on that full amount. However, what I don't know, and I'm not going to get confirmation on this, is I don't know whether by withdrawing that full £5,000, you're effectively closing the account. Remember, I said if you close the account, you forfeit the interest. Now, that's not going to be a huge issue if you do it on the bonus time around that sort of 12-week period. Close the account, take it out. of course, if you close the account, will you be able to get it again? So I don't know that kind of stuff. So that's something we'll know. It's literally just launched. That's something that might become clear over time. But just, it's not too much of a product. We're not talking massive amounts of money right here. But just bear in mind that if you are going to be not earning any interest on that bonus, and you are not going to be able to withdraw that bonus to put it elsewhere unless you take out the entire balance. It's a bit complicated there, a bit of a weird way of doing it, but that's how they've set it up. Now, adding money is pretty simple. I've just got the account myself, so I gave it a go. I just did 50 quid. The only problem is it says it's going to take 2 or 3 days for that money to come through from my connected account to my chip +1. So it's not the end of the world, but it's not the fastest thing. And that also has the same effect when you withdraw money as well. Now that should be about 2 working days, they say, which is longer than you'd expect from most accounts. You want that money, you want it now. So you have to prepare a little bit in advance. If you need that cash, give at least 2 days notice, but importantly, it's 2 working days. So if you did it on Friday, let's say at 5 o'clock, well, they're not actually going to process that until Monday. And if there's a bank holiday, they wouldn't do it till the Tuesday. And then you've still got the 2 days after that to go. So potentially you could be looking at a much longer period if you time it badly. Really, you want to do it on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday in order to make sure you've got it in that week. A few quick things to mention if you're already a chip customer. At the moment, you can't use the AI. If you do want to use it, again, as I said, I don't think it's worth using it and paying that money every month for it. But if you do use it, you can't move money via the chip AI into the chip +1. They are completely separate accounts, okay? So your chip +1 money is over here earning you 1.25%. Your chip AI money is over here not earning it anything. So that's worth bearing in mind. And I've seen a few reports today. Again, it's only just launched, so I'm sure some of these things will be ironed out. But if people already have goals set up in their chip app, that the money in the chip +1 doesn't seem to correspond to that goal, although I think that's something that they will try and fix. So should you get it? Is chip +1 worth your time? Well, I mentioned early on that this is one of the best rates right now. And on that basis, it's definitely worth looking at. 1.25% for an easy access account is, as I say, double what we're seeing elsewhere. But there are a few places right now that you should be checking out, which are priorities for your money. Again, these change all the time, so make sure you do check out my monthly video where I go through the best savings accounts, and that article that's always linked to with that video where I'm updating it on a daily, if not a weekly basis of those best accounts. But anyway, right now, while I'm recording this, the best accounts for your money are in current accounts. You have the Nationwide Flex Direct current account. This will pay you 2% for 1 year. It's only for 1 year, but it is fixed, so it can't change, right? So with all the rates dropping right now, a fix is pretty good. Get that for 12 months as long as you've never had a Flex Direct account, and you only earn that interest on the first 1.5 grand you have saved. But that should be, I think, the priority for people. If they want to earn the best interest they possibly can and they haven't had that account, then that's the highest rate right now because it's fixed as well. Next up is the Virgin Money current account. That's a brand new, or relatively new account. It's been going a while, but it's only become a bit more popular now. That is offering 2.02% on the first £1,000 you have saved. That is variable, so it could change at any time. But you also, with that one, there's a switching bonus of free wine, so you might want to check that out. So that potentially, that's 2.5 grand you can have saved, earning 2%. And again, if you've got a partner, if they open up their accounts themselves, the 2 accounts, and you can then get a joint account, you're potentially, really sort of adding up your savings to get the highest amount. After that, you might want to look at a couple of regular savers. Now, the Club Lloyd's bank account, again, I speak about this quite a lot in other videos. This one's quite good because it has a linked regular saver offering 1.5%, and that you can put £400 in every month. That is a fixed 1.5% for the 12 months from when you open it. Again, these rates can change at any time, but as I'm recording this, that's the best one to look at. Or Coventry Building Society has a variable rate regular saver at 1.55%. They're both very good for amounts of money on a regular basis every month, putting them aside up to 400 or 500 quid, depending on the account, rather than sort of those larger lump sums. They obviously are paying more, so they are better savings accounts. After that, if you've got any money, another 5 grand or up to 5 grand, then I think chip is possibly the best place for it right now. I will talk about these updates, as I say, in my regular savings video every single month with an update of the best accounts and what's been going on, so do check that out. And of course, just bear in mind some of those other things that I mentioned earlier in this review. The charge for using the main chip account, again, but you can avoid that. So if you avoid that, that's fine. And also those restrictions in terms of, not compound interest, that you have to withdraw the entire balance before you can get your bonus. And it takes a bit of time to sort of both pay money in and take money out. But overall, I think it's a good product. It sounds bizarre. I never thought I'd be excited about something that pays 1.25% but I am. Now remember, the way to get this, you need to find a friend who already has Chip, and if they've got a referral code they can give you, you both get the 1.25%. If you don't, use that code BeClever21, just the B, then clever, then 21. But remember to use that when you sign up, when you're going through that process, because if you miss it, I'm sure maybe if you get onto the chat feature on the app, they might be able to help you out. But ideally, you don't want to risk that. Do it when you sign up. Now, if you found this video useful, if you think that I have made you some money or helped you better manage your money and your savings, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. That, leaving a comment, sharing it with your friends, all of that stuff really helps me grow this channel and reach more people and help them with their finances more. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.